Yankees swept the Tigers, and Aaron Judge said something he couldn't say, and that's why he was ejected. What's up, Scott?
Which is just absolutely ridiculous. Yes, the story being that the Yankees swept the Tigers is a good one. That's a great win in my book. And the fact that Aaron Judge got thrown out of a baseball game is absolutely ridiculous. And this guy's got to live with that stain now for the rest of his career, that he's the only person. And I maybe at this point, now the Judge has gotten thrown out of a game, he'll be like, you know what, I can just do it
Screw
again.
it. Let's do it again.
but like the first guy to do that, understanding that what his temperament is, the fact that he is, and a pretty even keeled guy and has been, and respectful to the umpires for a very long time, even though he's been getting screwed his whole career on the low strike. The fact that you threw the guy out is absolutely preposterous, and the guy needs to hold a press conference to apologize.
Well, here we are. So here we are again, a week later, and another, like, I agree, ridiculous ejection of a Yankee. This time Judge. Last time it was Aaron Boone getting tossed because of a fan yelling from the stands. But I feel like the reason is the same. No, that umpires
not in
are
this
on
case.
high alert. I don't think
so.
Do you literally think Judge said something to the umpire you quote couldn't say? You think he said "fuck your mother"? You think he said "I'm going to eat your children"? Like, what do you think he said? He didn't say anything. He's like, bullshit, ump, and turned his back to walk to the dugout, which he probably says every hitter says millions of times.
That's the thing. Like, you look at what Rizzo was yelling from the dugout. This is exactly the situation. He's soft. It was a soft ejection. It was an utterly ridiculous ejection. And for whatever the umpire deemed to be the phrase or comments that you cannot say that Aaron Judge said is not enough. Whatever that was not enough to get thrown out of a game, especially coming from that man who said a piece and walked away, as he normally does. He doesn't even show him up. Didn't even turn his back.
A little bit. It was a 2% show up because he kind of threw his arm up with the bat. I don't think it warranted an ejection. He did turn his back and head towards the dugout. Yeah. And usually the ump is going to, say, okay, fine, you're going back to the dugout. Let's not make a big deal about this.
Jeter was renowned for this thing, and Judge reminds me of the way that he is. And I know that Jeter never got thrown out of a game too. So this is like
he's the first captain since Don Mattingly because they skipped over. Yeah.
He's the second captain since Don Mattingly, but so 50-50.
I meant first captain to get thrown out. No, Jeter didn't get thrown out.
Right. First captain since Don Mattingly. There've been two. I get it. But he does the same thing where he will slowly, if he disagrees with a call, he will turn his back to the umpire like he's walking to the dugout. This is exactly what Jeter used to do. And then mutter something under his breath and say his piece. And he'll walk slowly. Maybe he'll do the beginning of the walk back to the dugout is a little bit slower because he's got to say something, but he does it in a way that's quote respectful and all that. No. That's out the window now. Aaron Judge needs to bully these guys at this point. Now you need to lash out on the entire umpire union because the ejection was crazy. It's crazy. You don't throw that guy out of a game, especially in that situation.
Yeah. No, it was ridiculous. But
it's a home game in a 2-run game, a home game
on
that
Star
the
Wars
fans
Day.
come to see on Star Wars Day. He was Jedi Judge a couple of years ago, and you throw him out in front of the home crowd in a tight game at the end. It's really like the opposite of reading the room. It has no connection to what's going on in that game.
I think the ump is full of crap. Judge didn't say anything that was like the magic words to get someone thrown out. I really do think. I know you kind of shot this down, but I think umpires are on high alert with the Yankees, and they have a quick trigger because there's this narrative now that the Yankees are always going to complain about something, whether it's Boone, whether it's Judge, whether it's Rizzo, whether whoever it is. I mean, Soto, to his credit as well, anytime there's a ball called that's or a strike called that's questionable, he's saying something to the ump. And now I'm not saying he's showing the ump up, but he's questioning the ump. Okay, you don't think that gets under ump skins after a little while?
Well, if Juan Soto doesn't agree with the call, the umpire is probably wrong. So
no, I agree. Juan Soto's right 99.9% of the time.
Yeah. So I feel like you're getting to the theory of
yes,
anything that you do, I'm going to hurt the other people to make it affect you the most. So this is all really just against Aaron Boone. The umpires are now be like, you know what? We got to throw Judge out. For Boone to shut up, we got to throw Judge out. Is that what you're saying? It's like,
no, that's not what I was saying.
Because then your peers or the people on your team, if they get punished for actions that you do, that actually cuts deeper.
that does cut deeper, and that does make Aaron Boone maybe think twice before opening his mouth. But I just think it's the same analogy I used when we talked about the Boone thing. When you're waiting for somebody to say something, the moment they open their mouth, even if it is not really bad, you have a quick trigger because you're building it up in your mind the whole time. You're building it up in your mind, and then you're like, oh, you open your mouth, you're gone, get out of here.
And in this case, it was more of like, I'm not going to look in the mirror and take accountability for my wrong call. If you say one thing after I realized as soon as I hit it, as soon as I made that call, I knew it was wrong. And then you said a thing. It was
a strike. That's the worst part.
You say a thing, and then I'm going to throw you out. I'm looking for that right away. I don't know. That's not the guy you do that with. That's all I'm saying. You don't do it with that guy. If you did it with anybody else on that team, except for maybe Anthony Volpe, I would a hell of a lot better.
It was a strike, though. That's the worst part. It looked worse because it was a missed location, so the catcher had to go across the plate to catch it.
Yeah.
But it did catch the zone according to the StatCast thing, which also could be bullshit. Who the hell knows? But probably in a robo-umpire world, that is called a strike.
Well, then, you know what? No one's going to you can't argue with a robot.
Oh, I can't. No. Don't you remember in that minor league game when they were testing it? Like the first question, the first inning, there was the umpire yelling at the umpire for the robocall. It's like he had to do it. He's like, "This, I've just got to get this over with."
Well, they should have someone there just so that they can be yelled at for what
that's the umpire's job now. They're just punching bags, verbal punching bags.